Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and a McLaren alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Behrman, Magnussen, Stroll, Tsunoda, Albon, Zhou, Bottas, Fittipaldi, Ocon, Sargent, Vesti, and Sergio Perez completes our grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. I know the teams say there's no number 1 or number 2, but behind the scenes, there's always a top dog and a little pup, and this driver is the toppest of top dogs at this team. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves? Big excitement? What?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race, Gruffy. It's probably at the start of the race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation. And you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong? And how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. Right, the gap to the teammate ahead of us, 8.1 seconds. Okay, you've got front wing damage, but only have a few laps left. If you can live with it, stay out.
weekend. But let's understand why I come back from.